Hey guys, I'm out here exploring this beautiful open field, and I thought, why not stop and film a cool B-roll sequence with nothing but my phone. Let's do it. A lot of times when I'm out scoping out a place and I'm going to film a B-roll sequence, I try to look for what's interesting and what the eye normally don't see. So that means for me, I want to get away from anything that's height level or eye level. So you want to get low or get high, and then also with your cell phone, you always want to get close to a subject because that's going to give you that bokeh, that blurry background. So I'm going to show you how I do this and see what we can do. We're going to go to our camera app and we're going to switch over to slow motion. So that does a couple things for us. That's going to give you gimbal type footage, really smooth footage, and take a lot of those shakes out. So you always want to shoot on a sunny day. The more light that you can get into these sensors, the better. So that's what we want to do. Get up close, shoot sunny, and then also when you're holding your phone, when you're doing your sequence, try to hold it like this. So when you're going to move left or right, move and sway your hips or your legs. Try not to move your arms because you're going to get a lot more shake. And then also when you're moving, you can pan just by twisting your phone like that. If that makes sense. You are going to get laughed at because you look pretty stupid doing it, but the end result speaks for itself. So there's a lot of fine detail in this. We get the lens as close to the side of this as we can, and we pull back. So I don't know, because there's a lot of depth. You always want to shoot with depth in the background. So I thought maybe that might look cool. You're definitely going to get laughed at, but that's okay. This should be wide enough. It should be good. And just kind of a pan, top of the shot. Golly, it's windy. Oh, man. Oh, I'm sore. Oh, that's not as easy as it used to be. It sucks getting old. So you got your project open up in Final Cut Pro or whatever editing software you use. So I generally will take all the clips that I have them imported into a project. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these clips and I am going to drop them one by one into the timeline. Now that I got all these lined up into my timeline, I can start going and cutting these and figuring out what flows, what doesn't. And like I said, there's a lot of different ways that you can do this, and this is just the way I edit my workflow. Don't beat me up too much in the comment section if I'm not doing things that you think are proper and correct, because I think that whatever works best for you is what matters, because the end result in editing, that's all that really matters. So I'll tell you a little tip that really helped me out. I had a friend of mine that was an editor that I really looked up to, and his stuff was really good, and I asked him, what's the one piece of advice you could give me to help me grow? And he told me that every shot has life, and your job as an editor is to find out where that life begins and where that life ends in that clip. And that's all you want to show, is where it begins and where it ends. A lot of times we make the mistakes of letting the clip run too long or not shortening it and starting it where it needs to start. So I always look for the movement, the life, and the clip. So we're going to go through that. That's the next step that I do, is I try to find where it looks the best. And I like this movement right here. So I'm going to come over here and use this clip, and then I'm going to cut this. I do know some shortcuts, see? B for cut. And then we're going to move on to the next, and I like that right there. I like that first little sequence right there. And my wife is texting me because the wind is strong. And yes, her name is Hot Stuff in my phone. So we're going to go to where I think it needs to end, and that's about right there where there's movement. So we're going to move that, and then we're going to find this clip, the same thing, where it begins, where life begins and life ends. And here's my favorite shot, is this hand shot. I love that shot. I don't know why, but I'm going to go through here, and remember, we're finding where the life begins, where it starts and where it finishes. So I like the way it starts about right there, and we're going to let that roll for a minute, and then we're going to end it right there. So for the last shot, and for whatever reason, I'm not sure why this thing loaded it upside down. That's going to happen sometimes. So you just basically, you're going to flip this around and you're going to get it where it is in the right direction, and then it's level. Same principle, we're going to find life where it begins. And I like that right there, right before I take that step. All right, so the next thing I like to do is I will go in and find music. So we're going to go to the Upset. It's just a song that I had already picked out. So we're going to drop this into our timeline, and we're going to line it up. And then what I like to do is I always like to go and listen and make sure that it's on beat with the music. One of the biggest tricks you can do is, besides finding the life in a clip, is time it up to the beat of the music, and it really adds a lot to your editing and to your flow. That's one of the tricks that I always use. So this one, let's listen to see what it sounds like, and that helps with the cuts. Right there, I want to cut it because the beat's fixing to change. And there's another beat. Change his own beat. And you want to make sure that you're getting them lined up on beat. The next step that I like to do is I like to color grade my footage, and that doesn't have to be really hard. And if you need more information about this one, like to know a little bit more, let me know. But I always try to go through and, you know, this is iPhone footage or cell phone footage is extremely saturated. So I always try to turn the saturation down on these. I like how all this looks. So the next thing I do is I go in here to the colors and I apply custom LUT. We're gonna go down here to this, the orange and teal. I love orange and teal. It kind of makes that pop. It gives it a really nice look, and the sky has kind of a unique look. So one of the last things that I like to do is I like to, and there's a plug-in for this, and you can do it without a plugin, but the plugin is so much easier to use. But there's a company that's called Pixel Film Studios that I like to use. This is not sponsored by them either, but they're a great company with a ton of plugins, and they've got a bunch of different overlays and different things you can use. But I use this custom box plugin, and I will take this and drag it over the whole clip to give it those bars at the top and the bottom that kind of give it that nice cinematic look. And I'm going to go over here and turn this transition time. I'm dyslexic, by the way, if you guys don't know, if I've not said it before. So just forgive me if I say something that doesn't make sense. So I'm going to turn that to 0, and then I'm going to bump this up to where it looks like that. And here is our cinematic B-roll clip. Pretty cool. It's kind of surprising you can film that with just your cell phone. These things have come a long way. So don't ever use the excuse that you don't have the right gear to film cool footage, because you really do. It just takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of knowledge, the right software, and you can really do a whole lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure to like and subscribe to this channel if you love content like this. I love interacting with you guys. Comment down below, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.